The room smelled like sugar and plastic balloons when she said it. Not even 5 days after I buried my husband. Her living room was packed. Pastel banners, clapping hands, cameras flashing for a child who would never remember this moment. I stood near the wall, black dress still stiff with funeral starch, a ghost among the living. My sister lifted her glass, smiled too wide. "This is my son," she said, voice trembling with excitement. "And he's your husband's child." The words didn't land right away. They hovered, like ash. Then she turned to me, slowly, deliberately. "As inheritance," she continued, "I'll be taking half of your $800,000 house." Someone laughed. Someone gasped. I didn't. She pulled out a folded paper like a magician revealing the final trick. His will. My husband's signature stared back at me. Familiar. Careful. Too careful. I felt something rise in my chest. Not pain, not grief. Laughter. I bit the inside of my cheek until I tasted blood and whispered, "Oh, I see. That's when I knew." I had spent 12 years married to a man who hated surprises. He color-coded his socks, scheduled intimacy, logged every expense down to the cent. And now I was supposed to believe he had a secret child with my sister? I watched her as the party continued. The way she held the baby, possessive. The way her eyes flicked to me, waiting for a breakdown. I gave her nothing. Inside, though, my mind was already moving. Cold, precise. Because there was one detail she didn't know. One truth my husband and I buried years ago. Something no one else was ever supposed to touch. At home that night, I unlocked the safe behind his study bookshelf. My hands didn't shake. Grief had already burned itself out, leaving something sharper behind. Medical files, dates, signatures, a diagnosis stamped in clinical black ink. Irreversible. I sat on the floor and let the silence settle. Let the pieces align. The baby's birth date, her sudden financial desperation, the timing of his updated will. Too clean. The next morning, I smiled at her texts. I asked about the baby. I said I needed time to process. While she celebrated early, phone records came first. Then a private lab. Then a quiet conversation with my husband's attorney, the one who looked confused when I mentioned a new will. "Strange," he said. I never filed an update. That night, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror and barely recognized the woman. Looking back, she wasn't broken. She was waiting. Waiting for the moment I would stop holding back my laughter. I invited her over 3 days later. Just her. No balloons, no baby. She arrived confident, already rehearsing her victory. I noticed how she kept glancing around the house. My house, measuring walls, calculating rooms. She sat before I offered, crossed her legs, smiled like someone who believed the ending had already been written. "I know this is hard," she said softly, "but we should discuss timelines." I nodded, calm, almost bored. I slid a folder across the table. She frowned, opened it. Medical records first. Her smile twitched. Then the specialist's report. The dates highlighted in yellow. The diagnosis circled in red. She looked up at me, confused. Then angry. Then pale. "He was infertile," I said quietly. "For the last 8 years of his life." Silence collapsed the room. Her mouth opened, closed. She flipped pages faster now. Lab confirmations, follow-ups, my signature beside his. "You knew?" She whispered. "I lived it." Her hands started to shake. I leaned back, let her drown. Then I slid the second envelope forward. The will, not the one she brought to the party. The real one. Filed, witnessed, sealed. Her name wasn't on it. Mine was everywhere. The house, the accounts, everything. "And that document you showed?" I continued. "Forgery. The lawyer confirmed it this morning. I've already reported it." She stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. "You're lying," she said, voice cracking now. "The baby is not my husband's," I finished. "And you know it." Her face crumpled in a way I'd never seen before. Not tears yet, just fear. Raw and naked. I leaned forward for the first time. "You chose the wrong lie," I whispered. "And the wrong widow." She broke then, words spilling, excuses, confessions, a man from work. A desperate plan. The belief that grief would make me stupid. I listened without interrupting. When she finally stopped, gasping for air, I stood. "You can leave," I said, before I changed my mind about pressing charges. She reached for me. I stepped back. She left without the confidence she arrived with. Without the inheritance she never deserved. Without the sister she thought she could manipulate. That night, I walked through the house slowly, touched the walls. The silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt earned. Grief had tried to hollow me out. Betrayal tried to finish the job. But all it did was sharpen me. And as I turned off the lights and went upstairs alone, one thought settled in, calm and final. They thought I was mourning a man. They never realized I was burying a lie.